ASMR book club and find it there. I ran into the house and up the stairs to my room to grab the lockbox with our savings inside. I fished the key from the chain around my neck and dragged the box from the darkest corner of my closet. The Polaroids went into the box face down. The money went into my jeans pocket. Kneeling there on the closet floor, I felt a draft creep in through the open door and curl around me like smoke. I looked down to see my hand halfway to the lockbox again, itching to turn over the photos for one more look. My fingers twitched as I fought the urge. Before I could stop myself, I reached in and flipped over the top photo. Sadness filled me as I stared at the man, his edges slightly smudged as if drawn with charcoal. My throat tightened. I couldn't shake the feeling that he was looking back at me. The sadness sharpened into worry and fear. Who was he? What did he want? I dropped the photo into the box, slammed the lid, and hurried back to the auction floor. Things looked much the same as they had earlier, but tables 1 through 4 were empty. Many of the customers' cardboard boxes were full. Dad's voice raced along, hawking a woman's pillbox hat. Fox had returned the camera to its proper spot on table 6. He stood close by, not guarding it exactly, but sending frequent glances in its direction. His posture screamed relaxed, both elbows resting on the table behind him, head cocked as if watching the bidding unfold with wide-eyed attention, as if he hadn't seen the same thing every Saturday since birth. He was, in fact, looking for someone to help us. Once items made it to the auction floor, we weren't supposed to touch them. Dad took the rules seriously and made sure we did the same. Fox never should have messed with the camera in the first place. Bidding was our best option now, but only grown-ups were allowed to bid. We could ask one of the regulars to bid for us, brothers Carl and Joe, or Mr. Leonard, who owned the drugstore downtown, but we didn't want any questions. And if one of the regulars bid on something, you could bet the others would decide it was valuable and start a bidding war. I watched Fox consider and reject a dozen people in the room before he noticed Pink Capri's lady. She'd won her dog figurine, its head peeked out from the fanny pack around her middle. Fox glanced at me. I nodded. We both approached her together, motioning her over for a hushed conversation in the back of the room. You got your dog, Fox said with an easy smile. Good for you. Hope it didn't set you back too much. She beamed. $3. Isn't he just the cutest? I can't believe there weren't more bidders. This is my sister, Josie. The woman took my hand, embracing it with both of her own. Hey there, Josie. My name's Amelia. What a charming big brother you have. I'm older, I blurted. Oh, I'm sorry, hon. Isn't this just the most fun ever? Of course you two get to live it every week. Yes, ma'am. I didn't have the slightest idea how to ask this stranger for a favor. Fox plunged right in. Miss Amelia, may we ask for your auctioneer saying, "It may be another hour or two before they get to it. If there's somewhere else you need to be." "Nonsense. I haven't had this much fun in ages. You two sit tight and leave it to me." Fox started fidgeting. His eyes shifted sideways and back, sideways and back. His conscience was kicking in. "The thing is, ma'am, I may not have been totally truthful before about the dog being valuable." She winked. "I know. Don't let the fanny pack fool you. This old broad's not as gullible as she looks." She patted the figurine. "I love it anyway, and I can appreciate two savvy kids looking to make a few bucks." Fox grinned. "I didn't. If I'd been the one who'd conned her, no doubt she'd have marched out the door in a huff." We waited. Items were sold and collected by one. I leaned against the wall, drumming my fingers in rhythm with Dad's voice. Finally it was time. And here we have a leather and chrome Polaroid SX70 land camera. A great piece right there. Comes with its own carrying case. "Bill, any film in that camera?" Uncle Bill doubled as a sort of awkward spokesmodel for the auction items. Imagine Frankenstein with gray, wavy hat hair and a few too many apple fritters in his belly, and you get Uncle Bill. He stood in his plaid shirt and Wranglers, stooping to make himself smaller, holding up the camera for all to see. He paused to remove the bottom panel, peek inside, and shake his head. "No film." Fox and I exchanged startled glances. "No film?" Dad started up his spiel again. "Okay then. Still a true piece of Americana right there. Let's hear $10. $10. $10, and thank you very much, sir. And 15, 15, 15, 15, and 15. Now 20. Amelia raised her hand. She looked at us, eyebrows aloft. Fox nodded his approval. I chewed on my pencil. Maybe we used up all the film. Maybe it fell out. There had to be an explanation. Fox gave the stink eye to the man bidding against Amelia. What did the guy want with the useless old camera anyway? Well, useless as far as he knew. Another bidder joined in, and the price jumped to $30. An empty pit churned where my stomach was supposed to be. I was glad I hadn't had time to eat my Hershey bar. Amelia bid $35, then $45, $60. I murdered that poor pencil, waiting and worrying until the other bidders finally shook their heads and withdrew. That's $60 once, twice, and sold to the lady in pink. Aunt Barb, seated next to Dad at the podium, recorded the transaction in the logbook. Amelia held up her bidder's card, number 98. Uncle Bill carried the camera over and placed it in her outstretched hands. I slumped, overcome by a mix of relief and buyer's remorse. There went a good chunk of our hard-earned money, our trip money, and for what? A broken-down clunker of a camera that took pictures without film. Creepy pictures of a creepy man, this us. He nearly fell out of his chair, demanding to know what he'd missed. Fox chose his seat at the table. I took the time to check for cobwebs by flailing my arms in a few wild circles before sitting down beside Mason. We were locked in constant battle with the spiders for ownership of the cave. I didn't want them getting any ideas about landing in my hair. Fox set the camera on the table and we all stared at it a while. Then Fox picked it up again and checked it to confirm what Uncle Bill had already shown a room full of customers. No film. How is this thing taking pictures? He muttered. He poked and prodded, but the camera seemed completely ordinary. Mason crunched on a jawbreaker right in my ear. He flexed his fingers, and if he wanted to snatch the camera out of Fox's hands. He flexed his fingers as if he wanted to snatch the camera out of Fox's hands. My bad. I stared him down. Don't you get any ideas? You're not taking it apart, I told him, just as Fox turned the camera on himself and snapped a close-up of his face. What are you doing? I said. I dare the guy to show up in a picture of my nose. In fact, he snapped a photo of the table and another of the ceiling, and a few more random shots before I thought to jump up and grab the camera away, leave it to Fox to get into a throwdown with a ghostly image. Fox, stop it. Maybe it was just a trick camera. Or maybe it was something more, but taunting it didn't seem like the smartest way to find out. Fox stood up too. What? It's not like there's any film. Well, you never know when it might stop working. We spent $60 on that thing. Not much we can do about that now, although his eyes got that greedy glaze. It didn't hurt that they were the exact color of a dollar bill. We could probably get our money back and then some if we auctioned it. What kid wouldn't kill for a haunted camera? Forget it. How can you even think about selling it? Who says we have to sell this camera? I bet Dad has dozens of old cameras around the house. I dream up a few new ghost stories, doctor a couple of photographs. Fox. His voice got all hushed and breathy. I can't believe I never thought of selling cameras before. They'd be the crown jewels of Fletcher's haunted artifacts. Fox! Give me one auction, and I can make it all back, he muttered. He gathered the pictures he'd snapped and fanned them out on the table. He leaned in close, but not too close, waiting for the images to take shape. Mason slipped his hand into mine. All right, Mr. Tall, Dark, and Scary, Fox whispered. Show your face. Another few seconds, and we had our answer. In every photo, creepy man, creepy man, creepy man. Sometimes front and center, sometimes lurking in the background, but always there, always with the same expression. We had half a dozen pictures of the saddest person in the world. Fox released a slow breath. He picked up a photo and squinted at it. His arm not quite steady. That's it then. It has to be a trick camera. He shows up every time, looks the same every time. He was about to toss the picture down when he stopped short, his fingers gripping the edge with crushing force, face stricken. Did you see that? See what? I said. His lips moved. Mason tightened his hold on my hand. They did not, I insisted. Quit messing around. Fox shoved the picture under my nose. Sure enough, the mystery man's lips were moving, shaping the same few words over and over. I gasped and stumbled backward. They're all moving, Jason shouted, pointing at the table. In every photograph, the man's mouth worked furiously, desperately. We stood helpless, paralyzed with fear, watching until his movements slowed and finally stilled. sweat shirt sleeves down over my hands to slow the cold creeping into my limbs. Mason curled up against me. I could feel his heart racing in his chest. "So," I said, swallowing my throat bone dry. "Not a trick camera, then?" "What's happening?" Mason said. "Is it a ghost? What does he want?" Fox widened his eyes at me, then tilted his head at Mason. His standard, "You're older, you handle it" look. But the wide eyes remained, seeking reassurance I wasn't sure I could give. "Don't worry," I said, squeezing Mason's shoulders. "What would a ghost want with us?" "Nothing. That's what. Because there's no such thing. There has to be an explanation. We just need some time to figure this out." Mason's forehead scrunched. His mouth was shaped to form another question when Fox came to the rescue. He picked up the leather case and held it close to his face, examining the lining inch by inch. "Check this out," he said, tilting the case to show us the clue he'd uncovered. The initials JG inked in red on the white silk lining. Sorry if you guys can hear my phone. "JG, does that help us?" I said. "We can find out who this is, who owned the camera before now." I frowned. "How do we know JG is a person? Maybe it means joke, gift, or joyless ghost," I thought without meaning to. Mason wriggled away from me. "Why don't you ask Dad?" he said. "If it is a person, he just sold other stuff, didn't he?" Fox nodded. "Best idea of the day," he said. "Josie and I will talk to him, but listen, kiddo, all of this needs to stay a secret for a while, okay?" He pulled a Snickers bar from his pocket and held it out to Mason. "The mystery man, the photos, all of it. Just until we figure out what's making the camera work that way. You know how Dad worries. We don't want him to take it away or anything. Deal?" Mason grabbed the candy, head bobbing. "Now go on and eat that in your room while we finish up here," Fox said. Mason took off toward the house, already chewing. I blocked Fox's path, hands on hips. "You still think the camera is rigged? You saw the guy's face, saw his mouth moving. How do you explain that?" Fox gathered the photos, tucked the camera in its case, and swung the strap over his shoulder. "I can't. And you're not even a little bit worried about all this?" "Who? Me?" He smiled, his most reassuring smile, cocky, unflinching, all pearly whites and lofty eyebrows, which set me worrying even more, because it was the smile he used whenever he was lying through his teeth. Okay, thank you all for joining me on this little tiny adventure. I know that it's been a while since I have posted anything. I believe this is going to go up after I start the Larry Boy. Yes, you heard that right, Larry Boy, as in the VeggieTales chapter book. I don't know if I'm gonna do one and then the other, like Mothman, then Larry Boy, then Mothman, then Larry Boy, or what I'm gonna do yet, but I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope that whatever time it is, this has helped you unwind and relax and get your mind off of things, because I know we all are suffering. So, like, subscribe, comment what your favorite cryptid is, and I will see you in the next one. Love you guys.